other lamas has something something unique, something that what I consider as a unique is um, not a kind of a like he can say something differently. Here I mean unique is as a medicine, the teaching should be one teaching, but the people get a different understanding. So the uniqueness is that you find this amazing, that it really becomes like it really helped me. But for some people, it's something like, okay, this is something that normally what we hear. But that kind of uniqueness, that it really helps you. This is so precious. So that's what we are looking in the Dharma. And this not only happening with uh, the time of His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching and other Lama's teaching, but at the time of the Buddha, when he sat down under the tree and then started giving teaching, and then he knows the particularly person that he has got this imprint to be ripened. So he sits down and then he says, "Today, I will tell you a story." And then he continues with his past life story, and that this kind of particularly story becomes a teaching for that person. And people who are just giving, they are become like a secondary. The piety or the uniqueness, the teaching who receives the first person. And then others go just like, wow, so wonderful. This is it. And then it is necessary to share this kind of thing, not to hold it. So that's why we call Dhamma brothers and sisters, so that you found something amazing. And then they say, oh, me today receiving this, I have this kind of special doubt. And then maybe you say, uh, maybe your friends can help, or this kind of a doubt could be your friend's doubt. It is really necessary because one great master said, the first blessing, it starts with it having a very unbiased doubt. That means this particular teaching, how can this really help me? And this teaching, it is help with other person, not me. Why? So all this sort of thing is necessary when we study and receive teaching. And then sometimes when you read a textbook, particularly Dharma textbook, there are so many details in there, but then one kind of thing, it is like it's so kind of not a bold, but just you feel like this is so good. And then you feel like the whole day is like it becomes kind of a part of you. Not it does not stay in the book, in your heart. So then the rest of the day, when you go out with the people, then you have like this special something inside you. And then once you remember this kind of teaching, and then you feel grateful to the Shantideva or the author who he is. and then person who really gives teaching on that, then automatically there is, you don't need to think about what kindness do I have or owe to this master. So this is necessary. So I wanted to tell you because Serkong Rinpoche and all the other great masters have this. They have a unique way of teaching us. That means unique students should be there. Not only the teacher is unique. So then it becomes like this. Only not teacher, it becomes the most, but the student goes also like this. Then it becomes the right kind of connection. Okay. So now we continue with the verse number 60. Nyomon chuji nyomon choji chönena. Okay, I have to check with Tia and Raphael. Raphael is there? Okay. Oh yeah. Can I just like pin one and then verse Raphael? Yeah. I have to be very careful with these two, huh? Yeah. Now I know you too. I know I learned this. Okay. So the Raphael and Tia, you are in my main screen. And so now I know when to start and when to stop. Okay. Can you read it?
Verse 60.
Yes.
If I find myself amidst a crowd of disturbing conceptions, I shall endure them in 1,000 ways. Like a lion among foxes, I will not be affected by this disturbing host.
I think this verse number 60 is something that our greatest way to bring greatest way to bring awareness. So what means bringing the awareness means seeing the importance and then seeing the benefit. Once you don't see the benefit of awareness, then we will never start caring about this kind of awareness. So it's necessary. It's necessary to have or to see the benefit of this. In order to see this benefit, I think we first have to recognize when we do have we are in the disturbing conceptions. And first you have to realize that is an obstacle for you. Many people, including myself, even you are in this kind of disturbing conceptions, because you are so into this, you don't recognize this is the disturbing. Once you see this is a disturbing, you start complaining, then it's too late. So the awareness should be when you see this kind of feel the heat of this, feel this kind of we call the energy of the disturbing. We should feel this. So unless we don't have this kind of awareness, we won't know that. Like the example, the lion, and the fox, foxes.
Hyenas.
Hyena, be careful, because sometimes
Not many
it gives a kind of takes the confidence of the lion sometimes. But the fox is good. So what makes the, like maybe say, even though the lion does not have a teeth, okay, it's a teethless,
toothless lion.
toothless
lion.
But so elegant looking, with the scars on this. And then even a fox will not know he has this kind of weapon to attack. But just looking at this lion, what it respect is there. So how does this fox afraid? No need reason other than this is a lion. Whether it is like a covered, or whether it does not have a tooth or teeth, doesn't matter, because it's a lion. That's fine. What does that mean is that these so-called I don't know even they recognize him as a king of the jungle or not, but the amount of respect of this elegant looking lion, the respect or the fear is already there. Similarly, once we don't have a respect, all this power of the self-confidence of you need something called this is a lion inside me. Otherwise, if we are full of foxes, and then whom they are going to afraid to? So where is this lion in us? So this before seeing this seeing the disturbances, then we need to recognize I have this kind of lion in me. So then even there's lots of foxes, I don't need to be distracted. I can eat my meal without any distractions. That's the power of lion. You see maybe hundreds of foxes nearby targeting the lion's prey, but the lion will not care about the foxes. He will, with concentration, fully concentration, enjoying his meal. So do we have this power? Do we have this kind of a lion king? Welcome back. Maybe welcome back is to me. Okay, there is a Tia, and then Raphael. Where are you? Oh, yeah. Internet broke down. Sorry about that. The kind master Shantideva. Here, the example is really very nice because he taught about in the beginning, the earlier chapter, not chapter, the verses. He taught us how to bring the pride. Unless we don't have the positive pride, the pride is self-love, right?
Yeah, pride in this case is kind of like self-confidence also.
Self-confidence. In Tibetan, it goes like ngaje. So ngaje, not the negative one, the positive one, the pride, but the confidence. So once we do have this, so this kind of pride, this kind of confidence is not to attack somebody, but it is having a confidence that any kind of disturbing conceptions will not bring any harm to yourself. If we say it in a simple way, it's more like how not to survive, not to harm your negative emotions harm you. I don't know
Not
how
to be
to
harmed by your negative emotions.
Sorry about my English. And here it is saying, Nyembo. Nyembo is the antidote. But is it something like it? Not a direct translation, isn't it? Antidote does not, it does have?
It's okay here. It's okay,
okay
here. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it talks about it says in the second line, I'm enduring them in 1,000 ways, but it uses it in the commentary. It's using the word and 1,000 sort of different kinds of antidote or counteract to
ways.
Counteract to the disturbing emotion, the crowd of disturbing emotions.
So what does that mean? Not letting your negative emotions harming you means the now 61. Nyama chetang chunggyurjang mi mingni songatar tishin nyama chunggyurjang yomo ondo mingyur chas.
Just as men will guard their eyes when great danger and turmoil occur within my mind, even at times of great strife.
So what is it happening with us? Like whatever happens, you're protecting your eye. Right?
Yes, your eyes. Protecting your eyes.
This
is this something that we are sort of familiar with in our daily life? If there's some great danger, would we naturally go to protect our eyes? Is this something we're kind of familiar with?
Give me an example. How does this happen?
It happened to me yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking out in the storm, very windy and dusty. And I was walking, just peeking through my fingers.
Okay.
To protect my eyes.
So So if you look at all of your rest of your body, I think the eye is the only one. It has its kind of protection with a kind of a, I don't know, eyelids, and then automatically something happens. We go like, if somebody's trying to hit you or something is falling, automatically you will close your eyes. The rest of other, it's more like whatever it happens. But the eye is the only one. It leads, the lead comes automatically. So this could be one thing. And I add a little bit more in there. It's my kind of theory. Because all the distractions from you cannot stop here unless you do like this. But with the freely, you can close your eyes and then try to see the distraction of your eye that you can close. Once you close it, and it shuts down completely. Of course, the mind will be there of this memory and everything, but what is the ongoing in right front of you, once you close it, you have power to do this. So that means like this, that you can close your eyes with your control, not wanted to see whatever is happening in front of you. Your mind is that kind of strong that it can also, it has this kind of a lead that can close what is happening out there. And then once you learn it from because it's a good example from the eye, then you can use this kind of example of the rest of your mind, body, and from the hearing and everything. You can. But you did what? Nyangma chetang chungju mi ming sunga tar tishin nyangma chungju nyomo ondo mingur chas. Now the most important here is nyomo ondo mingur. How do you translate that?
So not coming under the sway of, or not be never be swayed by the disturbances or the mental afflictions, not coming under their power.
And
Under the sway.
Under the sway. Oh, okay.
The power of.
This is, I should learn. Under the sway of negative emotions.
Yeah.
Under the sway of. Did anybody have any kind of a unique thing that you try to control your negative emotions, but quite hard, but then you feel like if I didn't control this could become bigger, but then I stopped. I think due to I control it didn't become a big sin. Do you have any kind of this memory? This you really need in your memory. This is really needed. It's necessary. Then you can feel like this is the best part of my life. This should especially the foreigners, they like to write down a lot. This should be the special notebook. Special notebook. My father said something like this, but I could say something this, but I stopped. Okay, my something, my friend said something this, I stopped. it can lead into this kind of problem. But I stopped it. This is nothing about religion. This is nothing about Buddhism. This is not anything. But this, then once you stop, and then unless you don't see something good in there, but then you feel like, oh, I try my best, but people does not understand me. And they are taking advantage of me. This could happen. But then we are so confused. Then we feel like because you're doing well, people are taking advantage of you. That is not a problem that you behave well. That you yourself don't know how to control it. There are two ways to control. One is controlling your negative emotions, hatred, or the self-cherishing. You control it, but don't let other people fully take advantage of you. That you can fight, that you can shout, but without the under the sway.
Yeah, without being under the sway.
Under the sway of the negative
influence.
emotions. One of my friends, who is an Israeli friend, she came to meet me and she said, I noticed something uniqueness, quality in my teacher today. Because when she went to see her master, and then her teacher and then his attendant is having a quite a difficult time. And then that Rinpoche was scolding his attendant a lot. It can see this kind of a angry face, red face. I don't know how do you describe it? Devil's face. I don't know. I don't know. So then she felt like, oh, even my master, whom every day I meditate on my head, even he has this problem too. It came into her. Then she was smart, because when the attendant leaves, locks the room, that like close the door, and then he talks with her. It's so normal. It's like every day when they meet, he just smile and everything. But then the attendant comes back, he will change his face. Yeah, we two are unfinished. This is the look. And then close the door, and then he will just look and smile and everything. That's powerful. We don't have this. What we have is the devil's face stays. Not only with that, the person who you had a difficult time, and also that kind of I don't know, that influence is, you will bring that in your home and bring a mess. And then you apologize, your partner, your friend, or your parents saying, I had a rough day. That was your excuse. And then person has to understand that. So that is a sign that we are under the sway of the negative emotion. And the good example is that my friend's teacher. So that's powerful. And that teacher didn't came like this. But I think he does have this kind of line in him. And then he sees the fox. So this is the, I think, practice he is doing. 너무 온도 민줄차스. And then best not to go go under the sway of the negative emotion is seeing the reality. So seeing the reality means it's not when we become angry, and then we try to meditate. After maybe a few hours, you feel like a little bit of calming down, and then it will be very good to meditate on, not on the enemy, because it's, I think, sometimes very difficult to meditate on an enemy, because enemy is already so like you don't want it to see. So don't force yourself to look at the enemy or something, but then try to meditate on yourself, because this influence of the situation that you feel that is not kind of healthy situation, that is really making you difficult. That kind of a thing, that you are the one who is grasping, not the enemy. You are grasping to this. So then you try to look, I am grasping, and how I'm grasping. And then you try to look into this. And then first you try to, I will think about the person who the grasping, who is grasping is me. Where I'm grasping is the second. So then automatically you will try to open up. So the first, I think you really need to see that how do you understand yourself? What you are thinking, whenever there's anger, what is the mantra of this anger that coming out is, how can he say this to me? This is the mantra. And that me is the biggest one. Even we say like, how can you say this to me? That was the biggest one, isn't it? So now here, you just have to stick with this. And then even if you did something wrong, there is the kind of base that you are cleaning, this kind of base, and you can see, oh, because I have so much grasping towards myself, so this should happen. This should be happening, because the main thing that me grasping is already there. Then all this should be there. So then automatically you feel, you should feel like, if I don't have this kind of awareness, that my mind can be very tricky. It will come out as to protect me, but which will destroy me. I don't need this kind of protection. I need a different way of protection. That is the line which it can conquer the boxes, which is your negative emotions. You can put S there. Yeah? This is necessary. So then you will know why this pride or confidence is needed. And then this is called loving yourself. Ani karsa de injil tsila mangu jiyori karsa. Esteem sa.
Self-esteem.
Yeah.
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Esteem. Self-esteem.
Di karego.
Rang urbadoshi kasetse self-esteem. Tui no yo mara.
This is
Rang usurongwadoshi.
Oh, all this will automatically come then. These kind of things are very necessary. Now let's look at the 62. Dane sek de se jurtam dajin go chechang lai nabokundu nyomo ben dalandu michaosa. Tishin nego tamche tu rigbaleni shemi chesa.
So verse 62, it would be better for me to be burned, to have my head cut off and be killed, rather than ever bowing down to those ever-present disturbing conceptions. Likewise, in all situations, I should do nothing other than what is fit or what is suitable.
This is not necessarily saying that somebody should come and kill you, but this is a commitment. That is like every time when you like it so much, there's a commitment. If you don't like it, then you try to give a kind of commitment. That's fake. Sometimes we make a commitment because you feel like it's nice, not because it's necessary, not because you really need it in your life. But then you feel like, okay, they are doing it, let me do it. Then that other person is really enjoying, continuing, but you are not, because you didn't have this kind of a feeling towards that. And if it is out of the attachment, the commitments, then it's not. Once the joy of this attachment goes down, then commitment goes down too. But out of the attachment, but then once you see this is so necessarily, this is so needed, then that commitment is because you feel like it's really needed. Wish I have this one. And each and every day you have to water this kind of plant seed. And then each and every day you see with this kind of commitment, with this kind of watering the plant, then you see this plant very beautiful. And then you cannot see this plant dying.
It says it's not in the translation, but as you said, the enemy of the bound down to the enemy of the ever-present mental afflictions. It's not in the translation, but I won't bow down to the enemy.
So when you this could be you don't need to say it loud. You can sing a song from your brain. If somebody is, some people can be annoying. That's true, isn't it? Because they don't know they are annoying. But then have their difficulty. We have to understand that. We have to accept this. With respect, we have to accept this one. And then one of my friends saying like he has his mother, he finds his mother very annoying. It's like a childish behavior for sure, because my mother is saying this for his own good. But then he does have this childish behavior, so he always feels like, I don't need your advice. I'm old enough to understand, so on. So then, but I like his attitude very much, because when his mother is scolding him, shouting loud, but he can just smile and just act very normal. I'd never seen him like a disrespectful or retaliating. I haven't not seen this in him. So I started praising him in front of him. Then he said, Rinpoche, I will give you a tip. I said, what's that? He said, I feel my mother really annoying. And then the secret to this is, whenever my mother start on her speech towards me, then I play a song in my mind and listen to my own music. So then I changed this too. So now it's kind of helpful with this kind of music. This 62 music is so good. This should be the lyrics. And put a little bit of music, not very loud. Then automatically negative emotions, reaction will be not there. And then unrespectful will be not there, because all these are part of the negative emotions. And then full compassion power will be there. This is needed. Hard, but then because it's so hard, then your commitment should be very, very, very strong. Even you break this commitment for 1,000 times, but you need to come back to on this position, because it's so important. You have to see this so important, like if you lose it for a few minutes or few seconds, then you are giving the victory to your enemy, which is the inner enemy, not the outer enemy. So this is powerful, just to do. And then the last two teaching nego tamje도 ribalani shemiche sesto to those ever present disturbing conceptions.
No, the next bit. So likewise.
So so likewise in all situations I should do nothing other than what is fit. I don't think this is the right translation.
Whatever is curse. To not do anything which is unsuitable. It's actually the kind of negative way of saying it. To in all situations, I should not do anything other than what is kind of like the correct thing, the right thing to do at the time. I should never act in any way other than that.
These words, there is a debate whether Shantideva said it or not. So but then the Bodhisattva Tongme said, whether it is the word of Shantideva or not, leave it like Yeah, just
leave it leave it as it is, whether it was the great Bodhisattva Shantideva's actual writing or not. Just leave it as it is, because it no need to adapt. So it's going to be really hard to know whether it really was the actual writings of Shantideva. So we should leave it in.
So now, what does this mean? Like, I think whether the word itself is said by Shantideva or not, because they don't find this in the Jagargi.
In the Indian the Indian translation, the early Indian translation of the text, it's not fact.
Translation sigida. The Indian text, the original text. But then
in the Sanskrit, yeah.
The original version. But then maybe someone added a little bit more. But the meaning is quite helpful to understand this, because means maybe we can say something like this, because I try to look at the Tome Sangpo's commentary on that, there's nothing there about this. When you have this commitment or this kind of the promise to yourself, there's any kind of situation happens, I will stand still like a rock. Whether it's raining, earthquake, or anything, I will stand still. But then what makes you soft is there could be so many reasons, like you feel necessary to do it, to say it, and feel it. All this could come in a different kind of forms to prove to you that you need to come out from this kind of position. And you, because you staying in this position with having answer to all this kind of thing, what is happening. Some people does not have this. Like it's almost now 20 years back. His Holiness was he gave a teaching in Sera, in down south monastery, and then right after the teaching, now 6 days teaching finished, and then we are planning to go to my monastery in Gandhin. So then we had reserved this Tibetan taxi, booked a taxi, and then the person, we know him very well. So he said, yes, I will come and pick you up at 6 o'clock in the evening. And then he also promised to someone who's his friend, said, I will come to pick you up at 5 o'clock. Yes. Maybe, I don't know why he said this, because he couldn't refuse. Some people, they don't know. It's so impolite. Then he accepted. Maybe he forgot, I don't know. And then when we are packing and then putting the things in the car, and then a few monks came and then started like, you said you will come to pick us up, but you didn't come, and now you are taking these people. And then I know these monks very well, because they are from my monastery. But and then he said Rinpoche, and Rinpoche, whatever Rinpoche, but you promised to us. So he was kind of debating with him. And then he's not saying anything because that's his fault. He knows that. And then my attentions start like debating with that monk, saying like, and then the debate become quite heated. And then one lady came, and the people who are debating are all monks, except the Shantideva. And then what happened was, the lady said, well, we just received the teaching from His Holiness. And please don't forget that we are the student of His Holiness. We have to practice, so be patient. That's what he said. And the monk, without any kind of doubt, he said like, well, lady, His Holiness, His Holiness. And the teaching is at the teaching place. And if we mix all things up, how we will travel? She was looking and staring to the monk. And then somehow then the monks retreat, and then they went back. So it's so fresh in my mind that the monks are so great too, because they wanted their kind of part, right? And then once I meet them in the Mongol, then they're saying, Rinpoche, don't take this as a personal. No, I'm not saying that showing you any respect or something. But then this is something that we have to teach the lesson to the Shantideva. Sometimes your attendants need a lesson too. We are good friends. We are good friends. So as we have like this situation many times, we receive so many teachings, learn so many things, and then we feel like, oh, the negative emotions so bad. But then once we are under the sway of this, if you can feel this is so bad, that's really good. And then you are thinking, we need this kind of face to show to I don't know, to win something without any kind of a anger. And then it's okay. Like the first picture or the example I said about that Rinpoche. But most of us are not like this. So we become so angry, and then it brings some difficult situation with the friends, the family, and then most you become the lonely. And then you cry inside yourself. That's the real harm. So that's why I said here, this extra, or maybe I don't know, this the extra line is sometimes needed to bring this. Like I do have whatever things come, situations, then it might try to sway,
yeah, you can say, yeah.
sway, take away this my position. But I will have my own wisdom, power with wisdom, not to take away this. So then this is needed. 62 images. That is a yes. What free time?
Time's up.
Okay. So it is not necessary to finish like you have to, because this is something that each and every word the great Shantideva, how he wrote this down. He shared his feeling. And it is necessary not to skip his feeling, his experience, and try to stick with how does this make sense? What is benefit for me there? And as it's a way of Bodhisattva's life, how can I bring this kind of advice to others, comfort others? So then it's a perfect reading. Maybe you read it, and then you finish, and then you die. You don't need the second time to come back to read it again. It's finished because you went through the experience. Otherwise, you memorize the whole thing. Because I memorized not this one, but I memorized other. In the monastery, we have to memorize a lot. But right now, everything's gone. Nothing, no feeling. Only the words are somewhere there, but that's not helpful at all. But this is necessary. To tell you truth, I never went my alone going slowly. It's my first time going with you. So that's why there will be lots of mistakes. And there are so many things I don't know. But I'm going very slow because I need to study it very carefully. And I'm saying so many things not to cheer you up or make you all happy or make me great by looking, oh, his experience is so good. But for myself, I need to come with this kind of feeling. So that's why I'm speaking sometimes in Tibetan, sometimes in my broken English. So this is happening. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you all. Dedication, please.
Sure. Having thoroughly investigated and explored with all that I've heard day and night through the 4 evenings, mind born of reflection on these topics of contemplation, made this discernment sever all doubts. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful, generous, Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until the samsara end. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Guru, I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the grounds and paths, may quickly attain the state of bodhicitta. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the Hero Manjushri who knows reality, and just like Samantabhadra as well. I fully dedicate all my roots of virtue, with the dedication praised as the best, by all the gone beyond victorious ones of the 3 times, in order to have good conduct. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have defined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid.
Thank you. This came into my mind, so I will share with you. I shared that in a Tushita, not publicly, but with a few friends. My last meeting with the late our Rinpoche, whom we lost recently. So Rinpoche invited me for a lunch, and then Yangting Rinpoche was there, another Lama, very great Lama. So then Rinpoche asked him about some kind of quotations that Yangting Rinpoche mentioned to Lama Rinpoche. And then we discussed about this during our lunchtime. And then Rinpoche said, I memorized this memorize this shloka, the verse, and because it's hard to understand this. That's why I memorize this. And then if there's some other words like this, I really need this because it's so helpful. So this is what our discussion, that last discussion we had. So Rinpoche believes in a tremendous benefits of the great, the married, and so other like the stories, and then also the tales of the great masters. But the deep inside, Rinpoche does have this unique quality of thoroughly investigation. Without this investigation, it harms Rinpoche's faith to kind of positively cling to this. There's nothing. So Rinpoche's style is also like this. So, and it's an also we need this quality too. So that I wanted to share. Okay. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Raphael.